This is WWE superstar Drew McIntyre, and you're listening to the WWE Podcast.
The champ is
the one that everybody wants, me.
It's going to WrestleMania. Claymore!
Austin 316 says I just whipped your ass. This is my iron. You're going to acknowledge me.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Mailbag Part 2. As promised, the voicemails are coming, and I think you know where I'm probably going with our first voicemail, so here we go. Mr. DJ Kuzmo, take it away.
Hello, WWE Podcast World. This is DJ Kuzmo, back at it again on your Mailbag Show. Record you live on a Wednesday morning. It is the first Wednesday morning of March 2023, and it is time for your favorite show to come on every single week on the Mailbag, and I'm talking about the Veer Mahaan Report. Now, the Veer Mahaan Report took place last night on NXT, and we did get an appearance of my guy Veer Mahaan, Sangha, and the modern-day Maharaja Jinder Mahal, the Indian Sheer, in full force last night, because we did get a tag team match of the Indian Sheer versus Brooke Jensen and Josh Briggs. Of course, the outcome of the match was by clean pinfall. The winners, the Indian Sheer, as my guy Veer Mahaan hit the show tie, also known as the $1 Million Lariat to Brooks Jensen. It seems like what's going on with that tag team, whatever miscommunication that was going on, but our guys, my guy Veer Mahaan, hit with the pinfall, and the Indian Sheer got the victory. Now after the match, we did get an in-ring promo from the modern-day Maharaja Jinder Mahal, talking about how the Creed brothers denied him. They denied him the opportunity to become the NXT champion last week, and he called them out. He called out the Creed brothers. He called out Julius and Brutus and challenged them to a trios match. Next week on NXT Roadblock. That's right. We're going to have a trios match, of course, with the Indian Sheer going up against the Creed brothers and a third member that they must choose for this trios match. So we're going to have this match next week. So later on that night, as the Creed brothers are trying to figure out who is going to be the third member to go up against the Indian Sheer, we did get a discussion that Braun Breaker is going to be in the mix to be part of this trios match. So ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we have the trios match set for next week of my guy Veer Mahaan, Sangha, and the modern day Maharaja Jinder Mahal, the Indian Sheer, going up against the Creed brothers and the NXT champion Braun Breaker. Okay, folks, that is all for now. This is your boy DJ Kuzmo. Have a blessed week. Be kind to one another. And once again, peace and love and peace.
What a great report from Mr. DJ Kuzmo, giving us the insight and in perspective regarding what's going on with Jinder Mahal and the Indian Sheer and the Creed brothers and Braun Breaker. I do appreciate it. Those of us listening, I'm sure, do too, that may not follow NXT, but this particular storyline, it seems as if, even those that don't watch NXT regularly like myself, it seems as if the Indian Sheer, Veer Mahaan, Sangha, and Jinder Mahal are being elevated in a way that seems to be headed in the direction of main roster. I mean, sure, you could consider this main roster or, whatever, but the fact is NXT is still the breeding grounds for, and the feeding grounds, both words work there, but they are the feeding grounds for Raw and SmackDown. And I would imagine that this group could come up to Raw, Monday Night Raw after WrestleMania, or sometime in the next few months after Mania. It seems that way for those that want to see them on the bigger show of Raw or SmackDown. Just my speculation. Of course, they could keep them on NXT, and it seems like they're doing a great job of gaining momentum and staying relevant, and that's key. So, good stuff. Thank you, DJ. Appreciate your detailed report. Let's get to the next voicemail.
Hey, it's Kyle from Baltimore. So I wanted to talk more about the Cody Rhodes thing that I didn't really bring up before. They have 5 weeks, I guess, after this call, be 4 weeks, try to tell a story between Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns. It's not enough time to do it. You told everyone is invested in whatever Sami Zayn is going to be doing at WrestleMania, whether it's the tag team thing, which seems that that's a direct with Kevin Owens, or him being thrust into the World Championship match, whatever Sami Zayn is doing at WrestleMania, people are more invested in that than they are with Cody Rhodes. There's no story with Cody Rhodes at all. All he cares about is what he's been champion for. That's all he's been talking about. But there's no story between Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes because they haven't been face to face. So there's not enough time to tell that story. So that's the problem with Cody Rhodes, potentially winning the championship. On the Becky side, thing too as well. I'm making this call before Monday, so I would hope that Becky and Lita win the tag team championships because that makes the most sense to me at this point to do with Becky Lynch, to have her walk into WrestleMania as champion. And think about this, having Becky and Lita facing Shayna and Ronda for the titles at WrestleMania. That seems like a big enough match for Becky to do for WrestleMania, I feel like. Where does that leave Bayley? I don't know, but what do you think about those two scenarios? Again, I get this call before Monday, so let's hope Becky and Lita win, but I'll leave you with that. Thanks for a call. Bye.
Hey, Kyle, good stuff there. And as far as Becky Lynch and Lita winning, obviously you were right. They did win. They should have won. And it does seem as if they are on a collision course with none other than Shayna Baszler and Ronda Rousey. No doubt. It's hilarious how they just can't get to Ronda and Becky one-on-one. They just, I don't understand it. Maybe they're worried it won't be as good of a match as the hype will tell us it's supposed to be. I don't know. It's frustrating to me that Becky and Ronda haven't gone one-on-one yet. It's almost impossible to believe. She's gone, like, think about this stat. Ronda Rousey's gone one-on-one with Raquel Rodriguez more than Becky Lynch. How is that possible? But, yeah, it does seem that way. They'll still have their moments. They'll talk about the history of those two. It'll be a fun women's tag team title match. Maybe there'll be a third or fourth team. I don't know. But to me, if you're going to do this, do one-on-one. The two teams facing off against one another. You know, I wouldn't muddy the water like they've done in the past with these imaginary teams that come out of the woodwork in WrestleMania season. So, but yeah, as far as Cody Rhodes goes, you're right. They don't have enough time to tell any kind of super intricate story with Cody and Roman. It doesn't need to be intricate. Maybe intricate's not the right word. Investable story with Roman and Cody. What they've done is seemingly only focus on Cody. They haven't given us anything with Roman and Cody. Like, what they've done is essentially give us a one-sided story and finish the story. Whose story? Right? I mean, Cody's? What about Roman? Why does your story have to be finished? What is the finish of your story? Becoming champion? I mean, Kyle, now that you bring it up, they haven't told us anything about Roman and how he feels about Cody. He hasn't spoken about him once, and there's a month until WrestleMania. How is that even possible? So the crowd, if they're invested at all, doesn't really care about Cody versus Roman. They just care about Cody, finishing his story or whatever marketing slogan they're trying to come up with. That's not the best way to do this, because what about the other half? I don't know. It's like Cody. We don't know who Cody's facing. He could be facing anybody. I don't know. Yeah, that's a heck of a point, Kyle, though. So thank you. And let's get to our next one.
Oh, hey, Matt. It's Devin from Brisbane, Australia here. How are you? Hey, I just wanted to ask whether you've seen the WrestleMania Goes Hollywood commercial with Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch. I think it's hilarious how, I don't know, Seth just does it so well, and that laugh of his, and how he didn't realize that he had a man cave until Becky said to him, well, they do, but it's hers because she's the man. Brilliant. Just brilliant. I love it. But speaking of Seth Rollins, since I've come back to watching again, he seems to be, I'm trying to work out, is he a heel or is he a babyface? That laugh of his is damn annoying, but at the same time, I don't know, I'm still captivated by it all. So, he turns up in these outrageous outfits. He had those, supersized boots on 2 weeks ago, and he did a really good curb stop with them anyway, so he really knew how to wear them. They were huge. I'm just, maybe fill me in because I've been absent a few months. Is he a heel, or, I'm suspecting he's going to be a face at WrestleMania against Logan Paul, but I'm just trying to work out what he exactly is. Cool. Thanks. Bye.
Hey, Bevan. Hope all is well over there in Australia. Okay, well, is Seth Rollins a babyface? On paper, yes. The crowd reaction, you would say, is yes. I wouldn't dig too deep into this, though, because Seth Rollins, the only reason he turned babyface is because he's got a catchy theme. He is a heel masked with a catchy entrance theme. That's what he is. And to be fair, people have also kind of found him annoying, but in a lovable way. You know, his insane outfits have continued to be insane, and the red shoes and all that. He's just being outlandish and over the top, and I think that has become endearing over time, and it's just worn down people. And so, do I think Seth Rollins is a natural babyface? Hell no. Same with Charlotte. Charlotte Flair, anytime she turns babyface, has never felt natural. Ever. And this one still doesn't. I don't think it's a bad choice with Charlotte being a babyface. Try it. Charlotte's a seasoned pro at this point. Why not try it again? And they're trying, and I give them credit, and maybe it'll work, but it's Seth and Charlotte are just not meant to be baby faces, at least long term, and their best success comes as heels because they're both just naturally unlikable in the best way. Right? As wrestling personalities, they are just naturally unlikable. The cackle with Seth is still not my favorite. I did see the commercial. I agree it was funny. But outside of that, I don't want to see Becky and Seth on the screen. We've tried that before, and it was a disaster. It just didn't work. 4 or 5 years ago? Didn't work. And it was uncomfortable. They may have amazing chemistry behind the scenes, but sometimes when you turn the red light on, that chemistry goes up in smoke. Other times you have people who hate each other backstage that have no chemistry on a personal level that work in a professional manner and have just otherworldly chemistry. It's sometimes impossible to tell until you execute something. But without going in circles, Bevan, thank you for your questions. But to answer them, yes, Seth Rollins is a babyface. He's defined as a babyface officially. And he should be against Logan Paul. Logan Paul will get booed out of the building. Logan Paul is even more of a natural heel than I think Seth is, and that's saying something. And I think ultimately it's going to be really Seth Rollins and Logan Paul, as much as the match may not be something that a lot of Seth Rollins fans want to see. The match we know is going to be really good. There's going to be a lot of holy S chants, I'm sure. A lot of, oh my God, or this is awesome, or fight forever. One of those chants I'm sure will come along because Logan Paul's ultra talented in the ring. An amazing athlete. I mean, you could hate him all you want. I'm not a big fan of him either, but it's sometimes just reality. So, all right. Well, thank you, Bevan, and looking forward to hearing from you next week. Let's continue.
This is the original Memphis Mark. Giving a call back. It's been a while. Hope everybody is good. DJ, everybody. I will have to make a quick comment, though. What about the pop that they're giving Dustin? This Rhodes is going crazy. I was not for it. I'm not exactly sure how I feel about it. But the pop. Anyway, everybody have a great day. That's just my opinion. Spay and neuter. I'm out.
All right, Memphis Mark, back on the pod. I have not heard the pop. All right. Dustin Runnels, I'm imagining Goldust. That's who you're referring to. If you are, I have not heard that. I know that he's a part of AEW in some capacity. I embarrassingly don't follow that as closely as I should, but others who do probably will resonate with your comments here, but I'm going to have to go back. I did a quick search as you were talking. I'm like, Dustin. I'm like, okay, so I typed in Dustin Runnels AEW. It didn't pop up. So am I missing something? Or Dusty? I don't know. I want to make sure that I captured your comment correctly, Mark. But if it's AEW Dustin, I did a search. I couldn't find it. So maybe you'll have to clear that up for me as I, getting up in my old age here. I didn't hear it correctly. So at the ripe old age of 38. But thank you, Memphis Mark. And you guys can catch Memphis Mark doing NXT reviews every single Wednesday. So we put the pod up usually early on Wednesday morning for you guys to listen to. And that'll be every single week. So if you want to hear more of Memphis Mark, he has his own show on this podcast platform. We love it. He does a great job. And nothing but love for him. All right, let's get to the next voicemail.
Alex, the French guy here, your current European champion. I just wanted to address AEW right now because the main attraction at AEW is Daniel Bryan versus MJF at the moment. And the rivalry is pretty good because they are establishing MJF as a pure heel because the guy gets cheered on because he's so talented, and facing Daniel Bryan being maybe the ultimate face in the whole industry is a clever move to establish MJF just as a heel. I wanted to address something very interesting is that MJF, during one of this promo, addresses Daniel Bryan because he broke up, so MJF broke up with this girlfriend, and because of that, he was saying stuff like, the only thing I only have is the AEW championship, but, he addresses this being that's a real life fact, and this is really interesting in a way of if it's real, because a lot of rumors say it's real. If it's real, it is so clever by MJF to take some real life events and take them into the promo, But if it's not, it's just as good because a lot of people are believing it right now because I think they unfollow each other or something. So very interesting. MJF is a master, hands down. And that's all for me for this week. And see you later, guys.
All right, Alex, the French guy. I've only got one thing to say, one phrase. The bidding war of 2024. And I, for one, hope that if Triple H is still in charge, that he signs this guy. Okay, I have been on the MJF train, which is not a train that's exactly empty. Okay, a lot of people recognize his talent. He might be the best talker that WWE that WWE even has right now. Like he could go toe to toe with John Cena, and maybe topple Cena, maybe. That's how good he is. I mean, imagine MJF versus John Cena. Imagine the promos. I would pay just to watch the promos. Not even just the match, the promos on John Cena MJF. It would be amazing. And yeah, I am following loosely the MJF Daniel Bryan, or Bryan Danielson rather, story in AEW. And I've heard a little bit of that promo. It popped up on my YouTube and I was watching a little bit of it. The most genius thing about it is, does it even matter if it's real? The feeling is the same. The content is the same. He is a master at making you wonder. And he's so well spoken, doesn't ever stutter. Very careful in choosing his words. Also mixing reality with a little bit of fantasy and maybe embellishing some things. It's genius. The best storylines are based in truth. Because you don't have to manufacture anything. You can just speak from the heart. So do I think it's true? Probably. I'm probably like 80% of it, but maybe he embellished some of it, or it's not exactly how it all went down. But hell, I mean, again, most of the time that when you inject truth into a storyline, you don't have to worry about something coming across as authentic, because it is, because it's real. So MJF, man, I am counting the months now. We're in March, right? March 2nd as I record this. January 1st of 24, the dude is a free agent. So we're closing in. What do we have, 9 months? And I think MJF could be a part of the Royal Rumble next year. Could be. I've been looking forward to that for a long time. So I'm a huge MJF fan, just as you are, and maybe many others. But okay, thank you, buddy. Let's get to our next one.
Hey, Matt. This is Robert from the WWE Ringside Podcast. It's been a while since I've called in, but I wanted to go over the main event of WrestleMania and kind of get your thoughts on it. Obviously, we got Roman and Cody locked in for night 2, but for night 1, do you think it should be Charlotte and Rhea? For me, I say no. No, it shouldn't be, because the hotter storyline, and arguably the hottest superstar, is Sami Zayn and the Usos and Kevin Owens. That storyline is way hotter, and I think you want to put that in the main event over Rhea and Charlotte, who is a pretty cold story right now. I think you could have them actually open WrestleMania for night 1 and start WrestleMania off with a bang with Rhea winning, and then kind of go from there. So what are your thoughts on that? I've seen that they want to put the women in the main event because to make it equal, and because Rhea won the Rumble, but there's been a lot of instances where the Rumble winner didn't main event WrestleMania. So that argument is already out the window. And as far as equality goes, I mean, last year was the 2-man main events, but it's not about equality. It's about the bigger storyline for your biggest pay-per-view. And the biggest storyline is the Bloodline, and they got 2 storylines that broke off of it. So those should both be the main events. What are your thoughts on that? That's all I got for you today. Bye.
Robert, you hit the nail on the head. I understand why there's the temptation to put Rhea and Charlotte in the main event of night 1. But the way that the storylines are going, I think people would view that as a kind of a forced position for the women simply because they're women. And while we want to make sure that we equalize things, the whole equality thing and equity thing, a lot of buzzwords. Here's the problem with all that. If you're just doing, if you are trying to achieve equity or equality for its own sake, then I think it's a failed mission, right? Like, that is not the best way to present anything or really achieve anything, is when your goal is to just achieve equality because that's what you should do. It's like, no, because then you're stealing from somebody that may deserve it. And you're basing your decision on somebody's sex or somebody's skin color, whatever, right? It doesn't make sense. And then you're stealing from somebody else that is deserving. Everything should be based on merit. I don't care what you look like, right? Everything should be based on merit and just objective truths. That's what I think, right? It's like getting a job. Your job should be based on how qualified you are, based on the skills that you have. That's it. And the same thing applies here, right? If equality happens or equity happens as a byproduct, then fine. Like Rhea Ripley, or rather Bianca Belair and Sasha Banks deserved it, I think, when they main evented WrestleMania. The women at WrestleMania 35 deserved it with Rhea. Jeez, I keep saying Rhea. Becky, Charlotte, and Ronda. Even though that was a 7-hour marathon. So to answer that question, I'm with you. It's not deserving of the main event. It just isn't. It's a semi-main. But the Bloodline storyline, nobody in this world could convince me that the hotter storyline is Charlotte and Rhea over the Bloodline and Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens versus the Usos, the projected match for the tag titles. You can't tell me that. And if you're somebody that's just going to go, well, the women should be there because they're women, well, then I think you got your priorities screwed up. All right. If the women are in there, great. But the storylines that have gone on over the last 6 to 12 months aren't exactly, based on what, if you're a man or a woman. It's just based on the reaction of the crowd, how things are going. Is it hot? Is it not? You play the hot hand. And right now, the hot hand, the very hot hand, is Kevin and Sami versus the Usos for the tag titles. That's a much more invested story from a fan's perspective. So I'm totally with you, buddy. I'm totally with you. I know some people out there are going to scream, it's the patriarchy, whatever. He's a man speaking, whatever, right? Like just today's world. I could care less. But anyway, you and I are on the same page, man. No doubt about it. It's whoever's deserving. If the women are in there and they deserve it and they have a hot storyline, wonderful. If the men there and they have a hot storyline, wonderful. But if someone's just going to tell me they should be there because of a certain sex or skin color that somebody is, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous, right? It doesn't even make sense. So, all right. Now that I've pissed off a lot of people, let's get to our, is this our final voicemail? Yes, I think this is our final voicemail. So let's see what we got.
Hey, Matt, this is Randy from LA. Was calling today to ask you, what do you think about the WrestleMania card? If I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm underwhelmed. I'm actually a little disappointed. I actually really disappointed in the lineup so far. I will tell you, I'm looking forward to Seth versus Logan, Gunther versus Drew and Sheamus. If that's where this is headed, Theory and Cena. And to be honest with you, that's about it. The rest, I'm just underwhelmed by it. Even the main event, Cody. Cody's supposed to be the one to end the 1,000-day streak, but he's struggling to beat Chad Gable on Monday night, 10 minutes to put him away after going back and forth. Come on. How am I supposed to get excited about that main event, especially when Sami should be in the main event? But anyways, completely underwhelming. Brock versus Omos. Yeah, that's a bit of a letdown. Bobby versus Bray. Yeah, Bray doing some of his old character work. Like, come on, man. Come up with some new stuff. Edge versus Balor again? I don't want to see that. I don't care if it's Hell in a Cell, the Demon comes back, whatever it is. It's all underwhelming. And then whatever they're doing with Becky, it feels so beneath her. I just look at, why is she teaming with Lita? Lita looked so sloppy on Monday. There was one move where Io literally set herself up, and it took Lita 2 extra seconds to just join or show up to the move. I mean, it was just, it's underwhelming. And you got Trish. Just get her off my screen. She looks like a tank top with 2 inflated balloons that spent too much time in a tanning salon. I mean, just get her off the screen. I don't want to see that. But anyways, even Usos versus Sami and KO feels like a letdown because Sami should be in the main event. And I think that's what this all goes back to. Sami should be in the main event, and it's just set up just this very underwhelming card. Matt, talk me off the ledge. Help me get excited for WrestleMania. All right, have a good week.
Randy from LA. Thanks for calling in, buddy. Good way to close the show here. Yeah, I mentioned this on my show last night, part 1 of the Mailbag. I don't prescribe to the belief this is an exciting WrestleMania. It is. I know we have John Cena, we have Brock Lesnar, we have Edge, we have Roman Reigns. But who they're paired up with, not the best, right? And I know that they're trying to tell us, well, Sami and Kevin are going to be in the main event of WrestleMania. They're going to be the night 1 main event WrestleMania against the Usos. I mean, again, this is all just projected matches, but it's right now it's trending that way, and I'm not going to buy it. I hope fans don't buy into that either. It's in any other year this would be a great storyline, and it still is good. But when we got a taste of what we could have had with Sami, that's the problem. You give us, filet mignon, and then instead of you showed us filet mignon, and then you give us, I don't know, ribeye, whatever. That's the problem. And it's just something that I think fans are going to ultimately reject. And if they're going to tell me that Cody Rhodes, even if you're a Cody Rhodes supporter and you really like his babyface character, there's a lot of you out there. Wonderful. You can't tell me that Cody Rhodes is the guy that they've been dreaming up to take down Roman? Really? Cody Rhodes. He's the guy to do it? I mean, no disrespect to Cody, but he's only been back for a hot minute. He's had a handful of matches. He is very good in the ring. On the mic, he can be insufferable, but he's also really good. It's kind of a strange combination for me. And I'm not going to go down that road of why I don't like his babyface character, but my point is, tell me why, if you're WWE, what is it about Cody that all of a sudden makes you decide to end Roman's streak? Cody Rhodes? I don't know. Don't forget, Randy Orton's also lurking out there. Randy Orton's kind of the forgotten son in this whole thing. He was the one that got, quote unquote, injured by the Bloodline last May. It's been a long time. Riddle's MIA. Alexa Bliss is once again forgotten on the road to WrestleMania. I mean, these people just go randomly missing. I mean, Randy's injured, but Riddle, I know he's got some personal issues going on, but Alexa Bliss, and this isn't your question, Randy, at all. I'm just going on a side tangent. Where the hell is Alexa Bliss? This goes to show you they didn't really have it seemingly a plan with Alexa. They just kind of decided to bring her back a little bit into the darkness and then keep her there because we haven't seen her. They just stuck her in the room and shut the light off and said, we'll see you after Mania, Alexa. I mean, she may show up beforehand or interfere or do something at Mania, and I hope she does. But if I'm Alexa Bliss, if I was Lexi Kaufman, I'd be angry. I don't know. It feels like Vince is back in charge and they're just not telling us. That's what this feels like and looks like. We were all accustomed to Vince McMahon's style of humor, which is god-awful. It's like a 14-year-old developing, the comedy segments. And the matchups that he would have loved is Omos versus Lesnar. That's such a Vince McMahon match. And we, as fans that have been watching for a while, have a Vince McMahon radar that's very sensitive. And not that there won't be similarities from Triple H from Vince to Triple H, but when it's overwhelmingly Vince McMahon-y, if it walks like a duck and quacks like a duck, what does it say? Yeah, right. It probably is a duck. So if you're going to ask me again, people have asked me, do I think Vince is back in charge? I think yes, in some capacity, but they're going to keep it under wraps until after Mania for just for an optics reason for the company. So that's my thoughts. And I appreciate everybody for your input and calling in. I apologize for splitting this into two parts, but sometimes I got to do what I got to do. So thank you everybody for listening. I'll be back Sunday with your week in review. Of course, the rest of the week, you've got the WWE Retro Show with Anthony DeMarco. We've got the SmackDown review with our great team of Michael and John, and we've got our AEW review with Ethan Black. So 3 shows in between now and week in review. So I hope you guys enjoy it. Take care, and don't forget to go VIP on our website if you want an ad-free experience, www.podcast.com or patreon.com/WWEpodcast or Apple Podcasts. All of those have ad-free options. If you don't want to listen to any of those ads, you can get rid of them all. Thanks everybody for listening. I'll talk to you next time.